Last week, I started covering the troubles at CBR. Now, CBR is one of those woke mainstream comic news organizations that, doesn't really do comics at all anymore. They pretty much do movies and film because, of course, nobody clicks on comics anymore. And they've had a lot of problems. They've been accused of course, allowing AI to write things. They've been accused of not paying their people. It's been a toxic environment over there. And of course, when you get into this leftist woke culture, it's going to be a bad environment. This is exactly what happens every single time. Now, we've got a new story, which is absolutely crazy coming out of there, which we'll get to in just a second. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. I've got my Flying Sparks companion now on Fund My Comic, which is a Kickstarter alternative. This is a great place to get into my superhero world. If you guys want something different than Marvel and DC, if you want to take things back the way they used to be before CBR and the Access Media tried to make this whole circle jerk where you couldn't even criticize comics anymore, this is the spot for you. We are doing things the way that they used to be. We are changing the culture by actually creating culture here, not just complaining on the channel. So check this out. It's great, and absolutely people love it. It's been thousands and thousands of copies sold of Flying Sparks so far. And I've been told by Crossover Magazine that this is the best superhero comic of the last decade. Thank you guys for that compliment. Okay, here's the story of the day. This is a lady named Lisette Lanuza Science, I guess is her name, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And as you can see, she was the movie's TV lead in charge of features, lists, and news at CBR. That's a big deal. So, I mean, she was one of the ones really cranking out articles on the big topics of the day over there. Probably their lead writer, if you look at it from that perspective. And so she actually quit on September 1st. Today was my last day at CBR. It was my decision. It had nothing to do with the team under me or the writers. In fact, I feel grateful for what we were able to do under less than ideal circumstances. And this is where she starts throwing shade. I started as a features editor, and I leave as movies TV's lead in charge of features, lists, and news. Yep, you read that right. The job for 3 people at least. I can go into the reasons for my decision, but I don't want to start there. And though I will take the time to sit down and thank the list of long people I met at CBR who made me a better person, writer, and editor today, I want to highlight 2. And so this is what they did. And she goes further saying they're going to war together. We didn't win, but in a way we did, because as we leave this job, we still have each other. Oh my. So what happened there? Because that's quite a traumatic writing. Well, she followed up the next day. I did not leave CBR to pursue other opportunities. I left because I was overworked, underappreciated, and I was told by Valnet, that's CBR's parent company, that asking for better conditions for my team made me, quote, problematic, and I should try to be, quote, less emotional. That's why I left. Now, she's not the only one talking about this stuff. CBR has been under fire by a lot of people. One of the disgruntled employees actually hacked their Twitter the other day and actually started posting that they're replacing people with AI. They're not paying their employees, and that was a big news story for a little bit. So this is something that's been just bubbling up at the surface for a while, and a lot of these people at this company are actually just being pushed down. Now, the thing that CBR has going for them, that a lot of these news websites have going for them, is there's a bunch of people who will work for nothing. They'll just work for exposure at the end of the day. And they'll go out there and they'll say, you know what, I want to do something for the comic industry just so Marvel and DC appreciate me. And they'll get these people in there who will just write these articles, just, jerking off these big companies in order to get a little clout with those companies at the end of the day. And so there's hundreds of people lined up to do that and will work for nothing. And that's why the people who actually have talent, the people who will work like Lizzie here, will just get fired at the end, or not be appreciated at the end of the day, or even paid at the end of the day. And that's the problem. So here it is. She keeps going further in this thread. They do everything to make it a chore for you to actually do something like that. Even for someone like me with a law background, the strategy paid off. And this is because not having a lawsuit. And it's because their contracts, they set things up, of course, so that you have no rights. And that's exactly how companies write their contracts these days. It got progressively worse. If features was a lot, imagine that plus lists, then news with added sexism thrown in. Oh boy. That's shocking at CBR. Allegations of sexism. Oh boy, let's cancel them. And there's so much here. She's replying to almost everybody on this thread, which is like the terrible working conditions there, throwing shade at this company. And I hope that CBR begins its downfall with this. They deserve it. Nobody really deserves it more than them, except for maybe Bleeding Cool. But Rich Johnston does his own thing over there. All right, leave a comment with your thoughts down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.